G'day. Okay, we're going to continue on from the previous using screencasting for student feedback because it's kind of largely assumed in this video that you do have a Google Drive account for your class and points out how that makes things easier. So being faithful and using Google Drive to have a Google Doc, let's look at how to do this very quickly. It's not too complicated. Number one, you will need a Gmail or a Google account. I'm not going to help you with that because if you need help with that, you probably need more help than I can give you. Just while we're in this Google Doc, I've got the full screen open today just to make it a bit easier to see what's the movement. But something that's handy if you are in class and using this software is popping that up so you can see a little bit more of the screen. So if you're typing up a class document or some notes for the class, but you want it to be saved for another student who's not there, whatever, that button's useful, and it's useful working in Drive. So the next thing we need to do is create a folder for the class. Very complicated stuff. So if you're very, very new to it, you've signed into your Gmail account. I've got my start here because I guess don't want to share my emails with you. This is your logo for most things. So you've got Drive here. If you want to use other stuff, it's all there. So you click that, open your Drive, and that will pop up right next to it. So I've got my folders that I use for myself, and the folder I use inside that for my class is this one. Now I just go by years. These are the only years I teach. But inside them I put individual classes because things may change from year to year. And also you don't want to be sharing the same student work every year, so you can easily move that or create a copy of that later. But say we want to set up our imaginary class, we create a folder and let's call them year 13 for good luck. So we create that, pop in there, and create a slightly more detailed name. So 13 English Boobly Boo. That's our class. Then we pop inside that, and the first thing we want to do, I've seen other videos where people suggest the teacher typing in all the emails. That's I think a little bit too much hard work. So just create a spreadsheet, or you could use a Google form if you're really dedicated. We call this something fancy like class contacts. Okay, and have such fanciful, wistful column headings as name and perhaps email. You will get students who just can't resist being creative, and their email is not recognizable as them, which of course should be stamped out, but saying that you aren't into stamping, let's just put a name column as well. Get them to populate that themselves. So let's say my lovely Anglo-Saxon student called Example has his Gmail account. Now I highly recommend making them get a Gmail account. Just having this basic menu here makes things easier. You'll just get too many stupid questions about how to log in if you allow them to use their other emails. Okay, so you've populated your list here. You've, I don't know, popped a great TED video on, or I don't know, and just slowly had all the kids come up one at a time and put their email and name in after you've given them some warning that you want them to get a Gmail. And some of them you may well need to get a computer for and kick their little backside to get themselves a Gmail. So once you've done that, you will, let's just copy this one just so I can give you a better view. So you've got all your students here. Okay, so we go and we copy all those. And if you need to learn how to use shortcuts, Control C or was it Apple symbol C, we'll bring up that, or you can right click, so select right click, cut or copy. Okay, so we go back to our English boobly boo. Now, Google Drive is very good for having a kind of dummy proof interface. So up here you can see the share option. If we go back to our class resources, and 13 is there, if we click there, we also get the share option here. Or you can right click that. They've gone to some effort to make it pretty stupid proof. So we click share, and I don't know why Jimbo always comes up there, but let's just pretend you didn't see that. So we need to save changes because I've removed old Jimbo, and we would cut and paste our emails in there. You don't have to worry about the fact that there's no commas. It'll sort itself out. Wonderful. So we just hit send. You can add a message if you like. I wouldn't bother. Now we do come to the controversial aspect that some other screencasters have mentioned. If you select Can Edit, you do make yourself vulnerable to students writing on your worksheets, writing on other people's work. That can be a pain. So it's up to you to make that decision. You will, if you choose Can View at this point, basically have created just a series of documents that they can see, which is useful. You can put everything you ever do, or your class notes or your handouts up there. That's grand, but if you want to create folders where you want students to even just put work into, you need to select Can Edit. That is, I think, a bit of a weakness of the system for teachers, and I've mentioned that to Google and they seem unconcerned, but basically everything from this point will be defaulted to whatever it is, so you kind of have to do the numbers. Am I going to let kids create their own work, share it with each other, which is kind of the purpose of the software, or do you just want them to be able to pick up documents? So I always choose Can Edit. If there's something I really don't want them messing around with, I will go and change all their settings, but you do have to go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. Change the setting, which is, I think, a really big oversight on Google's part, but hey, it's a free resource. So we're going to select Can Edit, stick with that, and click send. Blah 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 blah. Yes. Okay. So we're done. Once we're in this, we just, as you would imagine, create folders about fascinating subjects like podcasting, or religion in television. No, I'm making up pretend university courses really, but inside these we would put things like submissions, or first assignment, whatever it is, and you'll be able to see them working on their stuff live. I can't show you because obviously it's a privacy issue to see other stuff, but just one last look. Oh, we've really forgotten all about our thing. We've set our privacy, done our contact list, and we're populated, so we are kind of leaving this behind. But another thing that is useful, if you have a faculty account, so that's a whole new Gmail you've set up for your faculty, or perhaps your head teacher has one, and they have created one called English Faculty. But you can also share everything with other teachers, so having it all there ready to go. So say I want the wonderful Gina Miraculous's feature article on refugees resource, I can just grab that, move it to wherever I want it in my class resource. So I'm with year 13 in the Boobly Boo folder. Once there's more folders in that, you can populate that further. I could move resources in and out of the folder. I don't want to do that right now, but you get the point. Very useful for your class, very useful for your faculty. So we'll leave it there and put some other screencasts about useful things you can do with it later on.